YouTube, back with another one. This is going to be a short video today. It was requested from a few people. They would like to know how to wire the reverse switch on their E46. Alright, so I'm here looking at the E46. Yesterday was a fun day. So I'm gonna run through some quick wiring for it. Yeah. Stuff I'm going to cover, some tips, you know, stuff that you can look out for, and pretty much just run you through the process. I can't run you through the process because it's going to be a long process. I can't bother jack up the car, so I was just going to explain it as short and easy as possible. It's very easy. Alright guys, so I think this goes without saying. The first step is disconnecting the battery. That's common sense. Locate your box with your relays and your fuse. So the next step is locating e46 connector. Right, that connector is underneath this relay. Mine is a right-hand drive, so mine is located right here. Right, so let me explain this now. So if you're going to wire a relay, well, let me say, if you're going to wire your reverse switch from scratch, you're gonna need to run 2 wires from that switch to that same said relay that I mentioned earlier. Right, pretty much that's what you're doing. You're running 1 wire from pin number 1 to this relay, where's photobombing, and then another wire from pin 2 on that relay on the reverse switch to this same relay. And I'm going to show you what 2 pins in a few. This is e46 connector that I was talking about earlier. Let me see if I can focus. So the pins are here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 9-pin connector. And the 2 pins of concern today are pins 2 and pin 6. Alright. Let me show you this relay. So that would mean we need pin 30 on this relay and pin 87. Alright, those are the only 2 that we're going to be concerned with. Oh, here's a random guy launching his car. Honda with VTEC. So with that said, now pretty much all I did was tapped into pin number 2. Just run a wire from pin number 2 all the way inside the cabin, into the tunnel, and down to the gearbox. So that would be pin number 1. Pin number 6, tapped into that wire, ran that wire in the cabin along with the other one, connected to pin number 2 on the reverse switch. Simple, right? Alright, so here's a simple wiring schematics I just drafted up. So reverse wiring. Right, so we're in engine bay. This is the connector that we were showing you. So you remove the relay, right, and we're going to tap into the wires underneath that relay. Right, so I was saying to you, pin 2, we run a wire from that inside of the engine bay, inside of the cabin, all the way inside of the boot, and inside the tunnel where the reverse switch is. So connect pin 2 to pin 1. Right, after you've done that, connect pin 6 from the e46 connector. Do the same thing, run it inside the car, inside the tunnel, and to the gearbox switch, and connect it to pin 2. And please note, it doesn't matter which way you connect these. It's not a polar switch, so it doesn't matter if you connect 6 to 1 or 2 to 2. It doesn't matter, just as long as these 2 are connected to these 2. So with reference to what I said about pin 30 connecting to 87, right? So we have pin 30. Let me focus. When pin 30 energizes 87, this energizes this. Let me turn this around. When this pin energizes this, it sends current to this green and white wire. Oh man, I taped it up. Let me go around the back and show you what wire I'm referring to. So this is the back of the car. This is the reverse. Sorry, not green and white, but green and yellow. Focusing. Right, so this is actually the power wire that runs from that same fuse box at the front. This is pin 87. So it supplies power around here, right? And then this ground now closes that circuit and turns this on when obviously you press when you put it in reverse and it touches the reverse switch. Alright, so it's a very simple circuitry, right? So this is what I was explaining to you now. Pin 6 would be pin 30 pin 30 on the relay, and this one, pin 2, would be 87 on the relay. Remember I showed you that, so it was pin 30. '87. Right? So when this one energizes this one energizes this, it closes the circuit, right? And that wire now, this one will be the green and yellow wire that runs to the reverse lights at the back of the car. When this now supplies power to the back, the lights are grounded internally from that socket and lights up the light bulb. Yes, the drift tires are still in the car. Wow, the aftermath, eh? Alright, so two things, I guess one thing to note first is if you realize that you connected the switch, you put it in reverse, there are no lights. This boot lid right here, it's famous for the wires breaking on the inside of it. So you see me put some tape on this here. It's because I actually went through it recently, checking to see if I had any broken wires, because that could also lead to no reverse lights. But my case was me not connecting it properly. Yeah, noob. Another obvious check is to check your fuse on the inside, just below your glove box. Right, those fuses can be blown, so you check those as well. Ensure that everybody's okay. Yeah. So I believed I've covered everything that you might need to know with regards to connecting your reverse lights switch to your X6325 connector at the front of the car. So pretty much you just run in two wires. In summary, connecting one wire from pin 2 on the X6325 connector, running that wire all the way back, connecting it to pin 1. Right? Second wire from the X6325 connector, pin number 6. Connect that wire, or you just basically tapping into the wires. Alright guys, just tapping into the wires. Run that wire straight to pin 2 on the reverse switch. That is all that you're doing. You don't need to do anything else. Right? So as I said, I gave you a few other points. If you put it in reverse and you're still not getting any light, check the bulb. Could be a blown filament. I told you to check the boot lid for the trunk. They're famous for having wires that are broken. So after you do that, you realize that's okay, then you move on to maybe your fuses. Those could be blown. Right? You just check those. You realize that fuse is popped. It could be a case where it popped because the wires around the back were broken, right? So it probably grounded on another wire or something, and it popped it. So pretty much, if you fix that issue, if you had that issue, just hypothetically speaking, if you had that issue and you realize that the fuse was blown, that was the reason. So after you fix that, everything else is a go, you know. Congrats, you have reverse lights. It's just as simple as that, right? So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.